Please put your hands together for my friend Ansa. Come on out, Ansa. Ansa, Edim.
I am the queen of spite moves. The first time I realized I was living a life driven by spite was when I ran an entire marathon because an ex of mine cheated on me with someone from his running group. I booked a solo trip to all of another ex's dream vacation spots in Europe because I could pay for it and he couldn't. I started a company review site literally called Blacklist after I had a bad experience working somewhere. And I booked an apartment, a basement apartment, and worked from there for an entire week in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, because that ex had always wanted to go. These adventures warmed my icy heart, is what I told my therapist. She wanted me to live for me, not because it would make other people mad. And maybe she was right. I was going to make a change. Until the opportunity for the best spite move ever presented itself. On a trip to the Atlanta Aquarium with my then fiancé, we walked in and saw a huge tank full of 4 of the biggest fish I had ever seen. He could barely contain his excitement as he turned to me and said, "Whale sharks, they're my favorite." So, when I called off that engagement, as the global restrictions were being lifted during the pandemic, there was one thing I had to do. I was going to swim with whale sharks. However possible. Never mind that I can barely swim. Never mind that I hate the open water. And never mind that I get seasick. It had to be done. So imagine my surprise when the opportunity to swim with whale sharks actually happened. I was planning a trip to Tulum with some girlfriends, and there was an excursion to swim with whale sharks. I didn't even know these existed before this. So we booked the excursion, and on day 1 of our Mexican adventure, we took a bus to the beach where we met a boat and our tour guides. We put on long-sleeve shirts and hats to protect ourselves from the sun, and at the strong insistence of our tour guides, I also took some Dramamine. After 2 hours of speeding into open water, the Dramamine mixed with my anxiety, and my reality began to crumble. I kept telling myself, "What are you doing? Your body was not built for this. These people can swim. You should call your therapist right now from this boat." Whenever a tour guide saw large fins in the water, he would scream, "Go, go, go!" And we were jumping in pairs. So, go, go, go! A pair would jump, splash, they'd spin around, and come back, and we'd cheer. Go, go, go! Splash, silence, cheering. With every go, 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 my anxiety heightened. Finally, it was my turn, and I put the snorkel gear on. I'd never been snorkeling. I put the snorkel gear on, while a tour guide helped me slip my feet into some flippers, and I waddled to the edge of the boat. I looked out, and I saw these giant fins swimming beneath me. Even though the walls were closing in, I knew I had to do it. I'd come this far. So I took a deep breath, closed my eyes, and jumped. Immediately, salt water rushed up my nose, and all of the gear flew off my body. And I flapped around screaming, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe!" A tour guide swam over to me, and he put his arm around me and whispered to me, "Stay calm, it's okay." He was holding me up, so I was calmed. And he didn't mind that the gear was floating away from us. He managed to grab my mask and put it up to my face, and he said, "Close your eyes." He said, "Hold your nose and look." So I took another deep breath, and I held my breath, and I put my face in the water. Now, if you've ever seen a whale shark, their mouths are enormous. It's like swimming next to a live-action Looney Tunes tunnel. And just as I looked down, I had to lift my feet up so one could swim between my legs. And underneath it were even more whale sharks. It was beautiful. And I let myself take it in. But not for too long. And I doggy paddled back to the boat, hoisted myself back up to the cheers of my friends. I had done it. Within 30 seconds, I was passed out in the back of the boat. I was offered Tums and water, but I needed neither. I needed to soak up my accomplishment in peace. And I had a lot of time while I was laying there, while we were speeding back to the beach, to think about my life. Imposter syndrome is such a real thing. My whole life I'd wanted to be someone who faced her fears head on and went on crazy adventures. And I realized in that moment, I actually was that person. Spite is a powerful motivator, sure. But that's not what got me to jump off the boat that day. I did that. And I wasn't doing these things because it would make other people mad. Okay, maybe just a little. But I was doing them because I could, and because I was brave enough to try. I was done giving other people credit for my own adventurous spirit. So now, my adventures are not driven by spite. Okay, some of them maybe still a little. But they're driven by seeing just how far I can go while still living to tell the tale. Thank you.